today we come here for, sadly, some toxic Yuri. I know a lot of people like toxic Yuri. These babies, they hurt my heart. So I am very scared. Before we start, you're gonna see feet right in your face. Okay, I hate feet, so that's why I say that. 1, 2, 3. The same number of toes. The same 10 fingers. Oh, I'm scared. I already know it's gonna, what? She's gonna look dead? The same body heat felt between breaths of equal heat. Oh, what happened? What happened? They're making it look like she's and her are being intimate, but I feel like it's gonna lead in the direction of like she's just dead. Oh, okay, she's not. You're so adorable. The dress she's wearing is the one that Mizi wore, and it's very big on her. You always say that. I wonder how receptive she is to this. She's looking away from her, and Mizi's very affectionate here. She's like brushing her hair. But because she's looking away and she's not blushing, it makes me wonder if she's feeling disconnected at the moment. Well, of course, you're someone who I could crush in an instant if I felt like it. Wait, why? Why would she say that? Oh. Oh no, looks like they got crushed by accident. What a shame. I guess they were a friend. Judging from the size difference, they may have been the provider. So whoever's talking here doesn't know much about humans. The tags are similar. That's Mizi's mom. I wonder who they're calling a friend. Who's a friend here? Oh, they think that Mizi is the friend. They don't even realize at first that that is like obviously the child. You know, that this is the size of what a child looks like. How small and pitiful. Are you crying because a relative died? Would you like to come with us? I wonder if you like water. Oh, it's so devastating. So Mizi right now is holding on to her mother really tight, and these people, they aren't going over and having like this motherly instinct to go and hug her or react in horror that this child should not be anywhere near a scene like this. They are very calm. They approached this mother getting crushed with so much, and I don't know if this is the right word, apathy. Like it's like, oh no, she got crushed, that sucks. Not, what happened? Oh my, look at her swim. Our sweet Mizi, so small and precious. I hope you like it here. I'll take good care of you, my baby. I have no idea what they're saying, but I feel happy. Mizi just lost the warmth of her mother. It doesn't matter. They're like an alien. It's like she has warmth again. And that made her feel happy because she doesn't even know what they're saying. How lucky I am. She completely, oh my god. She's calling her alien captors really mom. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that she's kind of like replacing the mom that she lost in her head with this mom. She could very well still really love her own mom and remember her own mom. But I have a feeling, knowing Mizi, everything that has led up to her, that she's going to repress those memories of her mom. And unlike Till, where we really get to see him and his mother's relationship, all we've seen is just her mother's death. Our sweet, adorable Mizi! Careful at the touch so she doesn't burst. And to be loved this much and be able to live together. So adorable, how precious. So these aliens are much bigger. Because the tags was still on Mizi and the mother, I imagine that maybe it was someone transporting them and they were rough with her. Or maybe even trying to pull her away from Mizi. This is all speculation. Whenever I heard Mom's quiet cries, I felt a sense of relief, as if I'd been given permission for life. Mizi is correlating her mother being happy with her with a permission for life. If she is happy, Mizi can survive. Possibly the alien that crushed her mother, maybe they weren't happy, giving this early impression. When we are scared of something, sometimes trauma is stored in our body, and though we may not understand it outwardly, we do have it stored subconsciously. Which would add to her thinking, okay, when people are mad at us, we don't get to survive. She also doesn't understand a word that her mother is saying, so she calls it quiet cries. And it reminds me of how our pets will interpret how we speak. When we use baby talk for like cats or dogs, they are very receptive to that. And we've seen dogs like whine and like start to cry almost when you scold them, correlating happy cries with I'm doing good, so I'll do more of this. I want to live a little longer, so please keep loving me, Mom. So love seems to be conditional in her understanding of it, which would also correlate with her survivor's guilt, where she's like, you knew they'd love you, so they'd keep you safe. And so you You did this on purpose. And of course, if you watch my original take on that, I don't know if this is going to change it, but my original take is like, that's not what Mizi feels. That is survivor's guilt that she's trying to rationalize, that obviously was embedded to her very young when she thought it for the aliens. It's a survival tactic. But that doesn't mean she did it with the other people. Oh, how cute. But that's not food. Huh. I said that's not food. Are you bored? Raising a child isn't easy, huh? How about you buy her a TV? Oh my god. iPad kid Mizi. Well, that is a terrifying image. Is that an anglerfish? I learned anglerfishes are very small. That is a huge, huge one. No understanding of Mizi's emotions right now, that she is terrified and scared. She's not even trying to eat it this time. The other thing's eating her. Whoever this second person speaking is, raising a child isn't easy, and just telling her to buy a TV is also not helpful. So, like, their whole community doesn't understand how to raise these pets and think that distracting it and that leading to possibly neglect is going to be a better way to raise a kid. Let's try ripping it. Oh, I think she's crying. It's too adorable. Oh my god. No, my god. Oh my god. I think there's some blood coming out. Oh, of the... Maybe I squeezed too hard while pulling. Oh, oops, she fainted. It's such an objectification to be like, oh, she's crying. It's too adorable. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. And then the total, like, the non-reaction, really, for, oh, oops, she fainted. Oh, oops! Not, what the fuck? Okay, so she's in a bubble, which is a big theme. Perfect imagery of the protective bubble that we see is Mizi's entire childhood. She's watching something, her little TV. I wonder what this means. She's sweating, so why is she sweating? And it seems like she spends all day doing this. One show, then another show. So she watches Alien Stage. This is something I was so curious about, because why they say that Mizi watches Alien Stage and she wanted to be like a singer on there, but then she supposedly doesn't know what happened, right? She doesn't know that this ends in death. It just made me confused when there were so many interviews where she was like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, how do you not know, but you're a fan of the show and that you supposedly asked your owner to join? Now I wonder, because it just, we still haven't gotten to the end. If she also repressed this, we already saw her repressing her mother, immediately trying to erase it to, oh, look at my mom, not my new mom, not my new owner, or thanks for saving me in like a child way. Like, oh, okay, she probably saved me. She just says, I love my mom. This is such a good commentary on what children see online too, because there are tons of kids watch things that they shouldn't have when they were little. When you grow up in an age of technology, you are exposed to some of the most awful things on the internet, and you either repress it, feel guilty for watching it, or, I don't know. Do you even know what that place is? Is she throwing a tantrum right now? How cute. These people are pissing me off. Throwing a tantrum? I think she's holding her breath. I'm guessing there's not just Shine speaking here. There is someone else that's speaking here that is giving their own commentary, that is saying like these type of objectifications. Oh, she's so cute because she's crying. Oh, she's so cute because of this. Whatever. Do you even know what that place is? And I'm guessing that she's talking about Alien Stage. So maybe Mizi is trying to share her need and want to go to Alien Stage. Mizi wants to so badly. Let's just let her go. Don't you feel bad for her? Wow. We see her in this bubble. So it looks like they probably live underwater. And she has this bubble that she's enclosed in to be able to live in it, which is already so small and so restricting. It's like a hamster ball, bro. Listen, I learned so much about hamsters, and the way humans treat hamsters, the way we are taught to believe is the right way to treat hamsters, is actually very restrictive and very cruel. Similar to Mizi, who is a human, we can't be enclosed in a bubble. Hamsters also cannot be. They are creatures that like to burrow. Their natural habitat is more foresty, taken from their natural habitat and putting them in an environment that is either small or just pretty much unlivable. Due to that lack of understanding of where they come from and wanting to recreate that type of home, it can make them go crazy. to get back to the point here, Mizi's world is so small. I used to call this a protective bubble that she's kept in. That's true. The owner is in their own way protecting her from all the rest of the other things out there, right? All the horrible aliens out there and all that. But that's horrible in itself. It's not livable. This small enclosed thing that she is in is then turned into this box. It's bigger. But is it better? She's so happy to be here. Imagine how nice it is. If I were in a bubble, I would feel like I could barely breathe in it. It feels so cramped, you can barely move around. You can't dance around, you can't do anything but watch TV. And now she can run around and live a little bit more freely, and it is still a box. I just feel like I'd be at peace. I wonder, see, because this is the thing, what did she watch on TV? What did we see her watch? Someone dying. She feels like she'd be at peace. What does she really mean? Does she possibly mean that she wants to be able to live in a more freeing space, like being able to run around and breathe air and then control the way she passes away? Being in a place where I'm not the one being crushed. She's seeing these giant aliens, and it's so easy to be crushed by them. They say, like, oh, be careful with her, she's so fragile, right? But a place where I could crush someone? What? Sue is smaller, swimming in her clothing. I just find you so adorable. These words are very reminiscent to her guardian. It makes me wonder if it's like that cycle of violence again, which is, it's just like all these kids are so traumatized, and their early examples of love are what ends up being shown to each other. At the end of my biggest analysis for Alien Stage, this one, I talked about how each of the kids' upbringing shaped the way they view love. And at the time, I had a very different idea of Mizi's upbringing, so outdated. But what I said on the kids in general is right. Your early portrayals of love shape how you end up loving unless you work to unlearn those trauma responses and really understand yourself and what you went through and not continue that cycle. And this is also intentional, showing how limp Sua's hand is, and her face is turning really pained. So it looks more at peace here. She kisses it and then she looks pained. This isn't a moment of like their joyous and happy moments. Sua's kind of blank here. Oh, and that's it? Oh my god. I honestly feel more confused than I feel like I understand. I'm going to explain different things because I'm learning and processing this, for the first time too. The title of this story, this comic, is called My Fragile God is Fading Fast. Which, by the way, this is a very godly picture. So instead of seeing, something like this and thinking, wow, that's a god, she looks at Sua and thinks something weaker and fragile is more like a god. Probably because something bigger and powerful ended up doing this to someone she loves. So I think the messaging in this story has a lot to do with 3 things. One being a philosophy you learn very young that shapes you. Rejecting the philosophy and becoming more human and in touch with your feelings, as well as a whole commentary on the negligence of aliens, even ones that try to be better owners. Something that cannot be discounted is this look. This shows us something deeper. Mizi is so tired of feeling weak that if she can be in the position to have some sense of control in her life, which a lot of the kids want, maybe then things will feel more right. I think it's very important that as we grow up, we may have an ideology that we're thinking is true, but as we keep going, we may reject that idea. And I think that's something that we see with Mizi, who looks like she is falling into that same cycle, and instead of falling into it, she holds her gently and remorsefully, like fighting with the idea of what she was taught. I think both of them fight with this idea. Sua had a sister, and with her sister, she was taught that she had to know most of the cruelties of the real world, that is true protection. In order to keep your loved ones safe, they need to act completely perfect. They can't be unkempt. They can't be flawed. Sua becomes someone that is very outwardly unfeeling to the rest of the world. Like they don't know what she's really feeling. To be like a perfect doll. How she treats the person she loves is in defiance of this. With Mizi, she doesn't want to tell her all the truth, despite learning that that's love, right? She doesn't tell her all of this. Her protection is keeping her in that bubble, defying the very thing that her sister teaches her. Now here we see Mizi. We see that she's kind of overwhelming Sua. She is in all arounds a bigger presence than Sua. Her mother is also a huge presence. We see her enveloping her, and she's reaching out to her smaller being, completely consumed by her mother's love. How lucky I am. I'm so loved by mom. Their love in a way is crushing, it's suffocating, it's huge, and symbolic to her being underwater. The conditions itself are suffocating. And here she is telling Sua, "You're someone who I can crush in an instant if I felt like it." These images much more consuming of Sua. You can see her completely like flooded and surrounded by Mizi's hair, which also to me reminisce like how the alien itself looks like. And here she takes up more space. But when she gets the chance to, when she reflects on how she really feels, it looks like she kind of hates that idea of love. And here I don't think she takes up as much space. I think they're more equal in this instance. Her hair is no longer surrounding Sua, it is behind her. And to me, she's hugging her like she's apologizing. Just because I'm kind of like really stuck on that look of sadness. So it does look like this hug is I'm sorry. I'm sorry I even thought that. That by having the power to crush something but choosing not to, it means that you are choosing to protect this person. Like you're the bigger person and I want to protect you because you're so cute. But she knows the fear that comes with that type of feeling, and thus she feels sort of regret having those similar sentiments with someone that she loves too, at least when she was still kind of learning her humanity. Mizi, she acts very similar to the aliens. We see here Sua's trying to eat this tentacle thing. It's not working. So there's this concept, right, of paralleling the aliens, basically. And when she gets to Anect Garden, she has similar, not understanding humans very well. So she comes into Anect Garden really acting more like an alien than a human. Being in a place where I'm not the one being crushed, but a place where I could crush someone. And then as we continue, we see how she learns, how she is not just wanting to crush someone, but really learning genuine love. We also see in the beginning, she's saying, the same 10 toes, the same 10 fingers, the same body heat felt between breaths of equal heat. That's not crushing. There's a difference between what we are seeing visually and what Mizi is saying. Visually, she looks like she is consuming her, not like actually, but like her whole image kind of flooding Sua. She is recognizing the equality between them rather than saying that she's like bigger than her. I wonder if one of these people were actually trying to adopt her mother and accidentally crushed her, because they keep talking about like, oh, be careful with her, she's going to burst. Oh my god, they're pulling at her. See, this is where it adds to the validity of like crushing her, because they said to be careful with her, and here we see at the bottom they're pulling at her bottom as they're ripping this thing out of her head, which could have very well crushed her just like the mom. They're in an underwater world right now, Shine's home, which is the Guardian's name. When we think about it, is this negligence between different pets, or these are just existing within the home of the underwater? Because if it is between pets, this is a bit of negligence between different pets and kind of like separating their spaces so they don't get hurt like this. It's also commentary to us, like this thing is just as horrific as this to this tentacle thing, to this I forgot the name of it, squid. But because you don't see like the squid crying or anything, it's like not as scary looking as this is, but they are both just as scary. Which is also commentary on like how humans are different to different creatures. Like we don't understand fish as well as we understand like dogs and cats based on one environment and the way we express ourselves to each other. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying this like social commentary on it. Humans live on Earth. Meanwhile, these things live underwater. They don't understand earth creatures the way they would understand underwater creatures. So for humans, we don't understand fish. Like when I'm thinking back on Nemo, right? She's tapping the glass and it's shaking up the whole world and scaring the fish. But in her world, in her mind, it's really nothing. Kids tapping the glass of fish is very, very common. The fear that the fish come from is like, ha ha, oh, look at that. It's not really like understanding, like that's a scary experience for the fish. Imagine like a mini earthquake, basically. A lack of understanding or wanting to understand your pet, especially pets that come from different environments. I also want to share this. It says, "You're telling me I ordered the figure of doom and despair thinking it was cute?" Just another commentary on Vivinos kind of laughing in our face of how we're basically the aliens, on how we'd look at something like this and be, oh, how cute, adorable. Of course, they don't know the context, but like, it's just like that's the marketing, right? The marketing is constantly making us seem like we are the ones who are consuming and alien like. There was a post where she's saying like, oh, merch drop to all the aliens, and it's a real merch drop. Guess who she's calling aliens? Us. Us. I want to check the Vivinos page because this page may give us maybe more on what we just read. Already they changed everything. We see a bleeding heart with goo on it, and it says deep down there, I think kind of showing how much Mizi is falling deeper and deeper into her resentment and frustrations and such a mass conflict of different emotions. It's the same position that we saw, and it's called Karma. It's releasing late June, 6 p.m. Oh my gosh, it's releasing so soon. As I look at this image, what really stands out to me is it looks like Sua has been crushed already from an outside source similar to Mizi's mother. And Mizi is holding her, again similar to her mother situation. She's not responsible for her crushing, but she is mourning it. And if we remember that heart, she's covered in the blood that oozes out of that heart. Not only is Sua crushed, but so is Mizi's heart. And of course, karma, because Mizi feels like this is all her fault. Dresses are swapped. My most controversial take is I don't think this happened. I think this is something that she's playing in her head and almost speaking and mourning to the ghost of someone. I think I could easily be wrong about this, but these are the things that lead me to that idea. Because as we saw when they had their dresses on, they were in a room full of people trying on clothes. I don't think they had a moment to go privately somewhere to have this intimacy. The dress was very pulling all over Sua, which is just not something that we saw in the music video. The dress looked like it fit her fine. I mean, we do barely see them. Like, we can't really see her wearing it. But it does look like it fits her better, in my opinion, with the limited view that we see. There was one argument that I saw against this that was saying that maybe that's because she got it tailored, especially when it comes to anything related to Sua. Mizi's memories are very difficult to like pinpoint what is fully real and what is not, because she is kind of getting her memories tainted by this person. Sua's also just always kind of quiet and blank in these moments. Especially in this comic, she already acts like she's not really there. Symbolically like a fading memory, which adds up to the title, My Fragile God Fading Fast. She has always been most expressive with Mizi. Like, look at this. I know these are very short moments, but that's one. Especially like in this moment with her in this dress, was happy, and I just feel like there's so much of Mizi's thoughts tainting memories, remaking memories. Sua is a very sensitive person. We also see it here with Ivan, where she can't control her tears around him. This cold version of Sua is just not her. Not when she's with Mizi. This one, yes, I do believe this one, Mizi still has some clarity, still has her eyes open when they're having this conversation. This. How cunning you are. We've talked about it in my last video, how when it is gray, it's kind of like Mizi's subconscious speaking. Throwing me away wasn't enough, so you ditched all your other friends too. Clearly words that Sua would have never said because 1, she doesn't know the future, and 2, I don't think it's her. Here, more proof of it. Gray bubble. Continuing, you'd figure you'd use whatever you could, huh? Just so you can make it out alive on your own. And Sua morphs from Sua to this representation of Mizi's survivor's guilt. These two just look similar to me, and then there's such a direct shift that makes me think like this is her feelings seeping out. Wow, someone says the black stuff represents Mizi's contamination on others after their death. This is a very intense image, and she's in a sense crushing them. I think this is the boy. This is kind of like the person that she sees at the end of the last comic we read. Mizi looks very similar to how she looked like as a child here. Then this other image of her looks closer to when she first got into Annexed Garden. Her first haircut is when she had no presence of other aliens being raised by her mom. Her mom also has shorter hair. Then very early on into her adoption, then it comes again when she is rescued by Hyuna and her life is filled with humans again. This is really the image of Mizi's guilt and like the thing that wants to just hate on her. I'm so proud of you, it says, as she's smiling and happy to be laying upon all these people a throne of deaths. An image that also occurs in top 3. I'd like to shout out my YouTube members, Andrew and Jason. Andrew specifically talked about how Alien Stage is pretty similar to Hunger Games, which I think is so true considering that the people who won Hunger Games always think back to everyone that had to die for them to get there. Someone posted Yuri Day is June 25th when they said it was like late June that they're putting it out. Another fantastic holiday that Vivinos wants to take from us. Final take. So far, Mizi has been thinking of really painful moments when she thinks about the people that she loves and losing them. Till thought of a very sweet moment with Mizi. Sua also thought of a very sweet moment with Mizi with the whole snow doll. And just focusing on Sua and Mizi, I think it really says a lot about how they interact with the world. Sua kind of feels satisfied in the end, protecting the person she finds most special to her. Mizi is traumatized by the many deaths she's been exposed to. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. So please let me know your thoughts down below. I have so many different interpretations of this. I think some land and some are kind of like in the air. Also, Till has a song like Livin' La Vida Loca or something. My Vida Loca. Honorary Latino. No matter what anyone says, my heart can't be stopped, which is really sweet. It kind of reminds me of the last comic where he was kind of saying like, I can't control my feelings when it came to Mizi. I do think his feelings aren't as shallow as he's kind of like saying. He didn't know how to like talk to Mizi. He can barely get a couple words out. Sometimes what people are saying isn't truly what they mean. It can run deeper. Maybe they're an unreliable narrator. Maybe they are trying to convince you of a different viewpoint than is real. I talk a lot about him and all the other characters in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Take care.